As always, we start with tuning into our own environment, both the environment around us in the room that we're in and the environment internally. And notice how that feels. Notice what sounds are in the room, what you're sitting on or what you're lying down on. Notice if the temperature is suitable. Taking a scan through what your actual experience is right now as we begin. And notice as well the space the body is in, and the sensations and sense perceptions in that space. We'll start with the body. Just for a moment, noticing how your body is positioned in space. When we notice our body in space, we'll often have an image of it. We certainly have sense perceptions of the parts of our body that are connecting with the chair or the furniture or the bed, the floor. We can notice if we feel the feet flat on the floor, there will be a perception of that. And we'll also have a perception of softness and relaxation in part of the body, most likely. Sometimes we have agitation in our bodies. Sometimes we have lots of sensation. Sometimes it's kind of calm. So notice what's happening in your own experience right now in your body. And it's natural to welcome some things more than other things. At this point, we're really just noticing. It's a mindfulness practice of noticing. And notice if there's anywhere in your body that feels tight or constricted, that you could let a muscle release. You could soften an area by bringing your attention to it. And notice the environment in your breath. Notice your pattern of breathing. Notice what part of your body is moving and what rhythm it's coming in. When we relax, we start to breathe more calmly and smoothly. Ideally, the breath is diaphragmatic, which means it's using the diaphragm muscle. There's an increase or an expansion of the stomach area, the lower rib cage, when we breathe in. And everything releases when we breathe out. Ideally, your breath is continuous and smooth. As soon as you finish exhaling, start your inhale. As soon as you finish breathing in, start the exhale. Even just focusing on the breath for a moment can help to calm us down. So much of our lives and experience is about the nervous system. Breathing is a really good way to settle the nerves. And noticing the environment in the thoughts. See if you could notice thought and then let whatever your current thought is come to a rest and not have another thought come up right away. Some days we can do that. Some days the mind is too compulsive. Notice what your experience is right now. Let thought come to a rest, and then in that gap, wait and see what happens next. And when another thought comes in, notice how that happens. It comes in as words or images. Sometimes we hear the words, sometimes we can see them. There could be many thoughts kind of glommed together. There could be one thought and then a break and then another one. And no matter what the rhythm and pace of the body, the breath, and the thoughts are, we're watching it from a different layer of the mind. There's a different part of us that's observing the thoughts that are coming through the mind. The sense perceptions, muscles, the bones. Bring your attention out of the content for a moment and notice the space. Notice the observing, the witnessing that's happening. And ask your mind, ask yourself to pay attention, set an intention. It's natural for the mind to wander, and we don't want to work against the nature of the mind. And we can also develop a practice of not allowing our attention to wander with that part of the mind. It's a skill. We need gentleness for sure. Not to be giving ourselves a hard time or getting into self-loathing because our mind doesn't stay put, because we lose focus and get lost in a train of thought. We need to work with that with compassion and kindness, and also with some firmness. The mind is a great instrument if we can train it to do what we're asking it to do. And in this case, it's to be mindful and pay attention to the body and the breath. So as we go through the practice, if you notice your mind wanders, bring it back. And bring it back and bring it back. That's part of the practice. Let's start now by going through the body from head to toes. Relax the forehead and the eyebrows, the eyes, the deep muscles and the corners of the eyes. It's an interesting place to start because thought kind of shows up behind the forehead. Images show up in that area too, behind the eyes, behind the forehead. We can often have chronic tightness in the forehead, the eyebrows, especially if we have a habit of worry. Usually worry involves some kind of concern about the future that's based on the past or based on some idea or fear we have about what might happen. So worry is all thought-based. There might be a response in the body to it. And thoughts, words, pictures are definitely a big part of worry. Focus your attention on the sensation in your forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes. As you breathe out, soften all the muscles in that area. Let the thoughts be literally in the background, just behind your attention. For now, focus only on those muscles. When you breathe out again, soften some more, and then keep your attention focused very much in that spot. The muscles of the forehead and the eyebrows, the eyes. And then bring that same attention down into the nose. Notice that there's a breath flow in the nose. It feels cooler as you breathe in and warmer as you breathe out. And focus your attention 100% on that breath flow for a moment. Noticing what it feels like for the air to move across the membranes in the nose. Relaxed forehead, eyes, focusing your attention on this flow of the breath. And then include your jaw and your mouth. Having enough space between the upper and lower jaw so that you can relax your jaw, the hinges of the jaw, the tongue, the throat, corners of your lips. Notice how the air moves through the back of the throat. We can feel it as we're paying attention to the mouth area. Notice the sensation of your mouth, your tongue. Coming down into the throat, the sides of the neck and the back of the neck. Being aware of the crown of the head, the ears, the back of the head, the front of the face, the forehead, eyes, mouth, lips, down through the throat. Training your mind to stay focused and present, working with it kindly and firmly. Right now, the job is to stay focused, noticing the body and the breath. And carrying this softness from the forehead and eyes, through the jaw, throat, the sides of the neck and shoulders, the back of the neck and shoulders. Carrying it down into the back of the body. Let all those large muscles of the back release. And notice if there's any sensation or energy that's not exactly physical. It's very common for us to protect ourselves by hunching up against danger. See if you can allow your shoulders to relax. Let the whole protective mechanism disengage for a few minutes. Keeping your focus on the back of the neck, all those large muscles of the back down into your seat. And whether you're having a day when it's easy to relax or when that doesn't seem to be happening, just continue to pay attention to what it is that's actually going on. Letting your intention be to allow the whole mechanism of the back to soften and release. Muscles, energy. Mind focused. And noticing again the whole of the head, the front, the back, the sides. The whole of your back and neck. And now focusing on the sides of the neck and the shoulders and down into your arms. Allow your arms to rest. There's no need for action through the arms at the moment. Again, this gentle, firm focus of the mind, not allowing yourself to get carried away into thought. And if you do, that's fine. That happens. Just bring yourself back. Notice the arms, the hands, The energy in the palms of the hands feels a bit different usually than the back of the hands or the fingertips. Allow the muscles of the arms to settle. And then bringing this attention of the head and the neck, the back, the arms, bringing this attention into the front of your body again, the front of the face, the front of the throat, the flow of the breath down into the chest and the stomach area. This is often a rich arena for sensation and energy, and there's movement of the breath in this area. There's lots to observe. Notice first the chest. There's the rib cage, the muscles that cover the rib cage. There's the rhythm of the breath and where the breath is moving your body. When we breathe diaphragmatic, the movement is a little bit lower in the rib cage and into the stomach. Anchor your attention into the present moment by anchoring it to the breath. Notice the rhythm and the pace of your breath. Notice if there's any energy or sensation in the interior of that space. Often we'll feel something in the heart center, maybe up into the throat. Notice what's happening. If you're finding there is sensation, notice exactly what it feels like. Is it hot or cold? Does it have an image? Does it have a color, a shape? Notice if the mind is reacting to whatever that image is or reacting to a sensation. And for now, paying attention to the sensation, not to any reaction to it. Paying attention to the body, the breathing, any energy that's there. Give yourself a rest from the busyness of the mind. And then continuing without thought, without our attention being on thought at least. Continuing down into the stomach area below the diaphragm, below the ribs. Notice the spine at the back, the muscles at the sides and the front, and how they're moving with the breath. Notice the pelvic floor, the hips, the navel center, solar plexus, that whole area. And notice how it feels to be moving with the breath. Notice the pace, the rhythm, if it's smooth or not. And if it feels like it's okay to do so, bring your attention to any energy or sensation that might be present in the interior of that space. If it doesn't feel safe to do that, that's fine too. Keep your attention on something else a little bit more. The breath is often a good focus. Paying attention in this wordless sense. We're not really following along with words and images. We're noticing the sensation and the energy directly. Giving ourselves a rest from that constant layer of thought that attracts our attention so much of the time. noticing that thoughts might be here, but in the body there's sensation, there's movement, there's sense perception. There's the forehead and eyebrows, mouth and the jaw, whole back of the body, front of your body, arms and the legs. Bring your attention now into your legs and notice what the energy is in your legs. Notice your upper legs and lower legs and the tops of your feet, the toes, the heels, the soles of your feet. Paying careful attention to the sensations in the legs. Some of them muscular, you could allow your quads to relax, the large muscles of the thighs. You could focus your attention on the energy in the soles of the feet. Let your legs be at rest. And bring your attention back to your whole body now, the whole space that your body is in. Everything that's going on in that space. The forehead and the eyebrows, the eyes. Keeping your attention firmly and gently on the perceptions of what's happening in your body right now. Notice that you have a body, you have breath and sense perception and thoughts, and that you also have this witnessing and the space in which all of this is arising. Rest your attention there in that space as you observe your whole body from head to toes. The back of the neck, down through the back of your body. The front, the interior spaces of your torso. Your arms, your legs. And then for a moment, return to watching thought directly. Notice when you focus your attention on that space behind the forehead, that you can sometimes, anyway, relax and allow the thought to come to rest. This layer of the mind is quite mechanical. Thought just kind of shows up. We notice it or we don't. It has a response in the body or it doesn't. A lot of thought just kind of drifts through the back of the mind. And sometimes we can be mindful of thought and really watch and see what's going on. Other times we're paying attention to other things. And then open your eyes and look around the room, noticing how that experience changes things. just for another minute, applying that gentle discipline, noticing your body, your breath, thoughts in the mind, energy, noticing your experience as it is right now in this moment.